Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I'm here to show you a journal that I finished up today. It is available. There is a link in the description. This journal does not have a proper closure, but I wrapped around and around with some trim that comes with the journal. It's quite a long piece. Looks like it could be vintage. I'm not sure though. This is a chunky, junky journal. And let me show you the outside. The signatures are put in all sorts of ways. Some are done with the sewing machine, some are done with hand stitching with pink hemp cord. One has sort of a jute cord that is brown, or maybe it's just a heavy cord. I'm not sure exactly what kind it is. This journal is made so that it will expand. You can put a lot in here. There are a lot of strings. I consider this kind of grungy, although I haven't done any distressing yet with inks or anything. You can see there are just bits of fabric, bits of lace. This is kind of a rusty safety pin that's holding a vintage key on the front. And when you open this, so it'll lay pretty flat when you're working in this. There's a little card in the front that says make art. That I did that in a project, or for a project, probably a couple of years ago, to put on display in the place where I was working. The first signature is just a couple of small pages to make a signature. They're images, vintage images of mushrooms, and that's printed on some cotton rag paper, really pretty. There's just a piece of lace laying in here. Now, this is kind of a fun page. You could punch holes in something and hang it on this page. You could just dress it up. That one is stitched in by hand with some heavy black upholstery thread. And you can see I tied knots in this thread to hopefully hold it in really well. And then the strings actually have beads on them to help them stay in place. And hopefully that holds up really well. I'm of the mind that journals are living things. We're constantly working in them. If I have to repair a journal, I don't stress too much about that. But that said, I think this journal is built pretty sturdily. Here is another one of the pages, or not, it's a journal page, but this is one of the vintage file folders with the metal tab. Several of you asked if I had more of these available. I don't right now. I've had a hard time finding them. I had this one, and I think I have one more in my stash, and that's it. If I find any more though, I will reach out to those of you who asked, and I'll put some in the shop. There's just some things clipped in as you're going through, things that you can work with. This is I believe it's a mixed media paper, and same with this. There's a pretty card here, kind of just a nature picture, the girl with the dog. And there's a coffee filter that you can do something with. This is a beautiful vintage book page. It's got a little tear at the top, but look at the beautiful butterflies. I tried not to fold that too harshly, but it did have to fold to go in the book. There is a piece of denim that you can use. Here is some heavy craft paper to make this signature. You can see it's got some writing on it. And then in the center here, we've got some black paper. And you know, I want to show you something real quickly. If these start to roll up and you don't like that look, you can glue the fabric down. You don't have to. Sometimes I like for it to stand up because I can slide things under there. And then sometimes I want it just to lay flat. There is a pretty napkin. I had a couple of these, so I put one in. Gracie, I think you might have sent me that. And then here's a piece of lace, another kind of big piece. That is safety pinned to the fabric on this signature. And that's one of the things I love about this type of journal. You can have spreads, you can have individual pages, you can clip things to this fabric. There's also a lot of room for these journals to grow, so that if you have a page that you want to put in and maybe tape it so that you have a flip out page, there is a lot of room for that kind of thing. This is just a little envelope that's got some circles, punched out circles that you can use for crafting. And there is another signature that's sewn in with the pink hemp cord. Yeah, I have to stop and think. Just a little piece of scrapbook paper there. And there's a piece of the paper with Frida Kahlo and another signature. And this is just a piece of webbing. I think this is what people use to make chairs. And I think it's jute. Anyway, that's what is used to weave together and over the wood slats or wood poles to make chair seats and backs. And then here is another pretty napkin. And this is just some heavy pieces from another vintage file folder. It had the fabric center. A couple of rusty washers there. And then on the back, here is a really cute little pocket. It's sticky on the back, but I didn't want to stick it to one of your pages, so I just stuck it to this fabric pocket. This is a guinea feather from my mom's little farm. They have guineas and chickens and all sorts of animals. And then there's just another little mushroom card, and there is a heavy piece of craft paper. And then on the back, there is my birdsong stamp. It is just glued onto the back there. That should hold though. Sometimes I like to sew them on, and sometimes I just glue them on with some tacky glue. So that is there. Again, I think the outside is really pretty. This is just chunky and junky, and it's a really fun type of art journal to work in. So again, this is available. I only have one. Of course, I'm always making journals, so I will be back with a new journal soon. There's a link to this on my blog, and that'll take you securely to PayPal. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.